So our first question is from Mahdi El Abdaloui. So why don't we just dig into the drama right away? He says, no specific questions. I just want to hear your guys' reaction to the Ronaldo interview. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Mahdi. All right, start with you, Lucas. Reactions.
I don't like it at all. I don't like the way Ronaldo has behaved this season, early this season in Manchester United. I don't like all the drama surrounding him. I think he might feel betrayed, but I don't think he's been loyal to the club either with all these gestures and all this drama. Quite frankly, he's created. He's been the one creating this drama, in my opinion. So I'm not a fan of this interview. Obviously, he's entitled to his own opinion and to say whatever he wants to say. I don't think he's helping his case, or I don't think he's helping his club either. So it's strange to say the least. But I don't think this kind of drama will help him find a new club this winter, because I have to assume that obviously he will not return to Manchester United after the World Cup. But definitely not a fan of this interview and the rest of the drama around Cristiano Ronaldo early this season. I'm not a fan.
What's interesting is that, this is something I always found quite literally just dangerous with fanboys of anyone, is that they're using this interview as this like, oh, well, look at all this stuff he said about the club. It's true. So that's the PR. That's like, okay, we can basically do all these wrong things and say all these things that are really, really contributing to team disharmony and throwing managers under the bus. And quite frankly, some of the stuff he said is ridiculous. We can talk about it in a second. But then let's just put a blanket over that because he criticized the board, which is something that Mourinho did and everyone did on their way out and said this is a mess. None of that stuff is untrue in terms of, the board has all these things that have been wrong with them. Have things improved since Sir Alex Ferguson left? The answer is no. I think, but right now under Ten Hag, it's looked better than it has looked for a long time. With that out of the way, I've said this before. One of the hardest things for elite players as they decline is the acceptance that they're not who they used to be anymore. The fact that, so Manchester United put out that statement saying, we're going to wait to see the whole interview, right, when it's released. They also mentioned the word togetherness is what we're focusing on right now, making sure we take this game to game and we continue winning and all this stuff. Whatever the rest of the full interview is, doesn't matter. The damage is done. He's already said damaging things. Mm-hmm. There's a couple problems too with this. The team did not even know about this interview. They're after the Fulham game, it comes to their attention that this interview is being dropped. First of all, it wasn't approved by anyone. It wasn't run by anyone. He went and did this, and he chose Piers Morgan, and the club didn't know about it. So that's issue number one. Some of these quotes, I mean, like, it's one thing to say I don't respect my manager because he doesn't respect me. I'm not sure what, we don't know what happens behind the scenes, but the public observation is you don't respect him because he's not playing you, because he believes in the system. He's your manager. You have to buy into what the manager, wants of you. And anytime he's been on the field, he hasn't been playing well. He hasn't, quote unquote, earned his spot or bought into what Ten Hag wants. So therefore, that means he doesn't respect me. Therefore, that means I don't respect him. The quote about Rooney was really weird.
Yeah.
Rooney comes in and says something critical, which was not even that harsh, and also comes out and said that he's basically the GOAT. That was all Rooney said. And the criticism was fair. And Ronaldo's response was, I'm not saying I'm better looking than him, but I am. What does that have to do with anything? When the response is, okay, I'm better looking. I don't know, like, whatever that means to you. I have better abs. I have a better jawline. I don't know. That is neither here nor there. It's narcissism. I don't know how else to put it. And you're doing it at the timing of this also is that your team is winning. It's quite simply put, your team is winning. Maybe not to the Manchester United standards of, the early 2000s, late 90s, but compared to the last few years since Sir Alex Ferguson left, this is the best it's looked for a long time. And instead of being supportive of it, it's just basically tearing down everything. You can go and tear down the board if you want. Do that, fine. You can have all the great points you want, but you're directly contributing to team disunity. At this point, what's your plan? Your plan was to do this right before the World Cup, and then what? Just leave on this note. It's really soured the legacy, and I think one of the biggest issues I have with it, not that this is the main point, but it's just a point, and this is why I don't really get involved with it on social media, is that fans of him put a halo around him and say, well, he's Cristiano Ronaldo, therefore he can never be wrong. He can never make a mistake. In reality, he is a human being that is really, 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 really great at this sport. But that does not exempt him from behaving a certain way. So there's another Ronaldo question about it, but that's about his football and his decline later in the mailbag. But this whole interview was, to me, the damage is done. Whatever is released, and the rest of it, it's done.
This is Ronaldo being Ronaldo. He's been this way for a decade or so, ever since he signed for Real Madrid. Even he had these controversial quotes, obviously not as big or as controversial as these ones, because in these ones he's attacking his own club right now. But this is the same Ronaldo who said the better looking thing when he was in Real Madrid after a game in against Apoel Nicosia, I believe it was. This is the same Ronaldo who said, I'm sad after scoring a double because he wanted to raise to match Messi's salary. This is the same Ronaldo who Karim Benzema revealed the other day that hasn't sent him a congratulation message because of the Ballon d'Or. Not that Benzema needs one, but he was asked, hey, Ronaldo didn't say congratulations in public to you. Has he actually texted? Send the text your way to say congratulations, and Benzema revealed that he hasn't. So this is the same Ronaldo we all know. Obviously, years ago, it was all balanced because he was scoring 60 goals a season. Now, this drama is not worth it. The drama around Cristiano Ronaldo is not worth because of his performances on the pitch. So this is the sad thing about it, about his decline, is that he doesn't seem to accept the fact that he's in his decline. He seems to have this same character, this same persona he had when he was scoring 60 goals a season. Not that it was right back then, but at least he was giving you brilliant end product on the other hand. So you kind of forgot about these small things I just mentioned. But this is the same Ronaldo we all know from his years in Madrid. So I'm not surprised. I'm actually, because it concerns Real Madrid and because it concerns his relationship with Benzema, I'm a little bit more sad and disappointed about the fact that he didn't say congratulations to Benzema on private about the Ballon d'Or, especially Benzema, a player who worked so hard for Cristiano Ronaldo to reach his peak, a player who helped Ronaldo massively, I think, reach the numbers he reached and reach the awards he received. So I'm a little bit more disappointed about the fact that he hasn't even said congrats to his former teammate and his former Robin in Real Madrid often. These things about Ronaldo is obviously something that I just don't like about him.
I mean, I had zero surprise that when Benzema said that.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was like, yeah, of course, like knowing.
Yeah, fans, but remember, Kiyan, fans kept telling, everyone obviously was paying attention to whether or not Ronaldo had reacted to Benzema's awards on social media, but Ronaldo's hardcore fans kept saying, oh, they're good friends. For sure he has sent him a text message. Obviously, he had big friends don't speak on social media publicly for you to see these congratulations and these posts. So I'm sure he sent the text Benzema's way right after the award. And by the way, the narrative started by saying that Ronaldo was actually, the rumor said that Ronaldo was actually going to give Benzema the award, because some rumors started saying that Ronaldo was going to be in the ceremony and all that. So, and now the whole narrative changed to, oh, I'm sure Ronaldo has texted Benzema about the Ballon d'Or, and now obviously Benzema himself has denied these claims and has proved that Ronaldo is still the same narcissistic person he was for a decade here, but without the 60 goals a season.
So I also just want to add, I mean, I don't want this to become like this huge segment where we just tear down Ronaldo's character and pile up on him. But you brought up an interesting point that I just wanted to touch on. This part of him is not necessarily new. However, as you said, when he's scoring 50, 60 goals a year, it kind of gets brushed under the rug. I firmly believe he's the greatest player in club history.
Same. His attitude doesn't change that.
No, and I think in part it's a little bit. I don't necessarily like making this comparison, but it's kind of like, you know, when we talk about Michael Jordan's greatness, his ego is part of his greatness.
Oh yeah, with Ronaldo is the same for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I think the difference is that Jordan didn't linger beyond his peak. I mean, I don't count what happened with the Wizards. This just doesn't count, right? So he left at the top. But with Ronaldo, he lingered enough that he declined, and that hand in hand with his personality is just a bit of a dangerous thing to combine. When you decline and you don't accept it, and you're now, when you cause problems, you're really causing problems because you're not the same player you were to back it up.
Absolutely. That's a fair point when you said, and I've said it myself in previous episodes, like Ronaldo wouldn't have been Ronaldo without this kind of attitude. This kind of attitude is what made him show up in incredible fitness and incredible condition every single preseason. That's what made him first in training sessions and the last to leave and all that. So that's one thing. On the other hand, with the Jordan comparison, as big of an ego as Jordan had, I think that he never went as far as Ronaldo has gone, in my opinion. Like, well, it's just that simple. I think Ronaldo went a little bit beyond what Jordan did in the past. Obviously not an expert of the Jordan era. I was very small and very young, but back in the day when Jordan was still playing. But I feel like Ronaldo has surpassed him a little bit in the ego department.
We're gonna revisit Ronaldo in a future question, so we'll come back to it. Daniel Smith says, "Do you think we will see more Rudiger after the World Cup?"